Hey friends, I hope you're all doing well. It's another beautiful fall day here in Brevard. I was camping last weekend. Gosh, I love camping. I slept like crap though. I normally sleep really good in a tent. I think there's a few reasons for that. It rained all night on Friday, and I don't mind sleeping in a tent in the rain, but it was just noisy. And Saturday night, there was some type of creature outside my tent making whacked out noises, and my irrational fears. I'm like, well, I know it's not a black bear because it's not big enough, but I was convinced it was something terrorizing for a bit. Then I got over myself and I went back to sleep. But sleep was hit or miss. But I had a great time. It was the Girls Who Hike North Carolina autumn camp out. I was so grateful that they asked me to come aboard and teach. And I taught 2 classes. I posted some of my pictures. I didn't post any of the nighttime yoga classes by the fire, but that was amazing. I love teaching yoga outside. I just love being outside. And so that was cool, and I'm really grateful for that. And, just to be out in the wilderness. But it was so interesting. I've never been to Franklin, North Carolina, or that area. And one of the girls lives in, I think, the Highlands. And she found this campsite that we had a book through Hip Camp. And it was really amazing. I mean, I would love to do my own wellness retreat there in the spring. I'm heavily considering that. And I've not hiked up in that area yet. And it was just complete, like they were in full-blown fall. So I was ready to drive off the road driving there. I was like, oh my gosh, because Brevard doesn't look like that yet. And I was like, this is what we have to look forward to. I was so excited. So that was really special. And then we did a 10-mile hike. I chose the harder hike for Saturday. So that was 10 miles. And it was actually pretty, I guess they rated it hard because of the mileage, but it was not technical at all. It was a pretty easy hike until you got to one point to get up to the top. And then it was just like a steep climb. And then I get very competitive with myself. So in the group, I decided I needed to be the first person to make it up there. And I was. I know that probably sounds really shitty maybe to some people, but I get very competitive like that. It isn't about anyone else that's on that hike with me. It's like, I'm not going to stop for a breath. I can do this. Let's see how hard I can push myself. I just get like that sometimes. Believe me, I'll stop and take a breath or a drink of water if I need to, but full disclosure, it's really bad. I had a friend remind me on this hike to drink. I can't eat on hikes, really. It's very hard for me. I don't even like food in my stomach before I work out or do anything vigorous. And now, 10-mile hike, you're out there for a few hours. And I don't really drink a lot of water when I'm working out ever. I've been this way since I've been a kid. It's so weird, but I don't like to drink water. Like, I played softball. I played other sports too, but softball, those games are long. And I was like hard put to drink water unless it was like super hot out and I was sweating. So these are really bad habits that I'm trying to break, but, I get silly competitive with myself, and I like to push myself, but I know when not to push. And I think that's the secret to success personally and professionally is you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. You know what I mean? Who was that? Kenny Rogers? Love that damn song. Those are some good lyrics right there. That's some wisdom. Anywho, so that was a great weekend, and I want to go camping again. I don't know where or when, maybe by myself, but I would love to go camping again before it gets freezing cold. But anyhow, and I got some more work at my job, so that's great. They actually made me a hiking guide. Woohoo! So I'll be taking over or co-leading some hikes. And they gave me a couple low mobility fitness classes, which is super cool because I used to teach that when I was back in Greenville and I really missed that. So I'm super excited about that. But I was watching, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Teal Swan. She's a very, very interesting woman. They have tried to shut her down and take her down, really, for years. Teal Swan has extrasensory abilities. And I guess you could say she's a healer. And she has a ton of videos. I mean, I've been on and off listening to Teal Swan for a long, long time. And she does these synchronization workshops. And she's not afraid to dig deep. And I just did that video on compassion for suicidal ideation. And I just wanted to do a quick follow-up that Teal Swan's ideology, her belief system about suicide and suicide prevention and awareness is probably the best that I've ever come across. So there's actually videos of her where she saved someone's life and stopped them from wanting to take their life. She's very blunt and bold in her protocol and her structure with her clients. And I'm actually fully on board for what she is putting out into the world when it comes to this. I think it's really important to not be afraid to talk to people openly. One of the trainings that I had, they're now encouraging you to say, are you thinking of taking your life? Like, are you thinking about killing yourself? And just asking it bluntly and boldly. And I can see why people would disagree with that. The idea used to be that if you asked someone that, you were gonna what if the idea wasn't already in their head? Now you've put it in their head. What if they misinterpret it and think that you're saying go off yourself? Which I think would be far and few between. Or what if it would clam someone up and close them off? Which clearly there was way more to I've done multiple trainings on suicide prevention and postvention and awareness. So clearly there's way more to that. But I do think, and I did get to that point with my daughter where I would ask her outright. And I think she really appreciated that, to be honest. So perhaps it's dependent on your relationship with someone, but if you suspect that someone is thinking about it, I do believe it is okay to ask them outright. And then I wanted to go over some signs of somebody who is contemplating taking their life. So we know the classical signs like withdrawal, deep isolation, they stop talking to people, they stop going places, they lose passion for all the things that they used to love. That all just starts to fall away. But another one is, and this is actually really common, but often not noticed, is they give their things away. They just start giving their things away. Of course, the more obvious is them expressing something, saying something off the cusp, like I'd be better off dead, or sometimes I think I would be better off dead, or I wonder what life would be like if I wasn't here anymore. Leaving a note. Some people do say like, well, if I was going to take my own life, this is how I would do it, which can be indicative of having a plan. And again, not everybody has an exact plan, but a lot of people do contemplate a lot. It's hard to explain because I know cases of people who just went and did it and everyone was shocked. I actually just watched a YouTube video of that. The dad's video was so sad, broke my heart. Because they just didn't see it coming, and he waited for his parents to be on vacation, and his grandmother was babysitting him and found him. This was like a young boy who was being fairly bullied at school. And I believe he was around 11-ish. I mean, just heartbreaking. But I do think that awareness is key, and really knowing and understanding and paying attention to the subtleties, which can be hard for some people because not everybody is super perceptive and intuitive, and I understand that. But when I look back, I do remember a few things that were an indicator of where my daughter's head was at. And, you know, hindsight 2020, right? But I just wanted to do a little bit of a post video and keep it not, you know, keep it short, because I know the other one was long. It's really hard to tell stories like that and abbreviate it, because I think in order to elicit a deeper sense of compassion, I needed to give as much detail as I could. And believe you me, I left a lot of stuff out of that video, a lot. But anyhow, love you.